So Meg, every month I take some time to talk about a few games that people can play right now, but I'm excited you're joining me for this.
I'm really excited too. I've always really enjoyed this segment, so it's super cool to be a part of it now, and I'm so eager to get into our topic for this month because it's a really fun one.
Oh yeah, since we're almost at the end of 2018 and the games this year have been amazing, we're going to be talking about our personal picks for Game of the Year that we think you should play right now.
From being able to web sling through New York to getting to explore a gigantic Norse world, these games are packed with reasons why we think they're highly likely to be nominated for Game of the Year at this year's Game Awards.
Now, we're only going to be talking about games that are already out, but there are a few newly released and upcoming games that could also jump on that list.
Yeah.
We've got Fallout 76, Red Dead Redemption 2, Battlefield 5, Darksiders 3.
Yeah, so let's get into our list, and don't forget that you can pick up all of the following nominees at your local GameStop store. Make sure to ask a guest advisor if they have them pre-owned and save yourself some money.
So our first pick for the Game of the Year is Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh, you've got web-slinging action. You get to explore a super open-world Manhattan that's so true to real life.
And the story is great and all, and you can go through it and have so much fun seeing this original story created by Insomniac. But the best part of it, in my opinion, is the fact that after the story ends, you can go around and collect so many collectibles.
Yeah.
All of his old backpacks, do all of Harry Osborn's medical research centers. There's so much crime going on in New York. You can take care of as Spider-Man. You really feel like the web slinger.
Yeah, there's criminals around every corner. It's so much fun.
And what's also great is that the graphics and everything are so beautiful because all the motion capture was done literally for the whole game. Yuri Lowenthal does an amazing performance. I think he's going to be nominated for Best Performance in a Video Game for sure. There's Tara Platt, Laura Bailey, and many others that give great performances in this game.
Yeah, it makes the story that much more immersive when the facial expressions are super accurate and the voice acting, you can just feel that emotion with it.
It's so good.
So our next pick is one of my favorite games ever of all time, Detroit Become Human.
Yes, oh my God. I've been waiting to talk about this game on GSTV forever. So this was made by Quantic Dream. They did Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls.
Which are also amazing games.
They're so great games.
And you get to follow Marcus, Connor, and Kara along 3 intersecting timelines to achieve one final goal, freedom. So the 3 of them are androids, and this game, what I really like is it explores that whole idea of what's gonna happen if AI becomes so advanced to the point where they act like people. Do we treat them like people? Are they still robots?
Are they doing our jobs? Like, are we doing their jobs? There's a lot of social commentary there that really makes the game real to life, but also never takes you out of the fact that you're playing this riveting, tense story, especially with all the quick time events and multiple endings. This makes this game a challenge because, you know, you can be running down the street as Connor and you miss a quick time event. Goodbye,
Bye, Connor.
But then you can go back and look at the timeline and actually go back and play it again to see what you missed or what you could have done differently.
Yeah, it's crazy how many different paths there are.
And that's what's great about a game like this is that you can go back and find the replayability and make the story your own depending on how you want to treat each character.
Absolutely.
So next up, a game that released early in the year, an early contender for Game of the Year was God of War. So it's a new story-driven adventure from Santa Monica Studios following Kratos and his son Atreus as they climb to the top of the 9 realms to spread his mother's ashes.
Yeah, and this was one of the most praised games of 2018 with seamless gameplay and cutscenes that never pull you out of the game. You're just fully immersed.
Well, even before the game came out, everyone was rating the game like 10 out of 10, perfect scores, 9.5 out of 10.
Which is crazy.
I remember there was like 30+ reviews like on launch day that before the game even came out that people were saying this is going to be a contender. And like you were saying with the seamless gameplay, you know, you press start, you go and pick your difficulty, and it just pulls you right into the game with no loading, so it never pulls you out.
That's amazing.
And there's tons and tons of gore. It's great. It matches the lore.
Of course, yeah.
But what's cool about it is it doesn't leave that God of War feel of being the hack and slash kind of violent game it is, but it now added this kind of really heavy story that really brings it close to home, so it doesn't seem like just, you know, you're just beating up enemies.
Right.
It's really addicting and fun.
Yay, gore.
Yay, gore!
So next up, we have one of my other personal most favorite games ever, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yes. So there's a special new take on AC right now. So it's taking place in ancient Greece during the Peloponnesian War. Yeah. And you can choose between Alexios and Cassandra and also have various dialogue options to get involved in.
Yeah, and the dialogue options really matter. The choices they give you choices where you're like, this isn't gonna come back later. And then it does, and you're like, well, I picked the wrong thing.
Maybe I shouldn't have killed that person and recruited them instead.
Right, exactly.
And it throws you in the middle of this beautiful world. I mean, I thought Assassin's Creed 2 was beautiful with like the Renaissance and Italy. Greece, like, oh my gosh.
It's huge
the amount
and amazing.
Well, the amount of power and like presence they put into these games, it's just ridiculous. Plus, there's even an upcoming DLC, which is the Lost City of Atlantis.
It looks so cool.
I'm like, where was this a long time ago? I'm so glad it's here now, but I'm like,
right?
I never even thought of bringing Atlantis into the Assassin's Creed world, and I think this is the perfect game to bring that forward.
Yeah, I completely agree. And this game in general has evolved the AC series in a way that's been really refreshing. You have so many new RPG elements, and I've played every single game from the very first one, and I feel like as a hardcore fan, you might eventually be like, oh, I'm so like apprehensive with these changes, but they nailed everything.
Everything, seriously, same. I've been playing it since the beginning, and it's just been so good.
Yeah.
So finally, one of my, like, she's excited about Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
This is your Assassin's Creed.
This is my Assassin's Creed. It was a Switch exclusive called Octopath Traveler. So I couldn't put this game down on my Switch. It was made by Square Enix, which, you know, Final Fantasy and all those great games.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3. It's a throwback to classic turn-based RPGs while also paying homage to games like Chrono Trigger and even Bravely Default.
Yeah. So you have 8 different characters and 8 paths to choose from, hence the Octopath. And the battle system is super user-friendly while also letting classic RPG fans have more of a challenge.
Right, and that's always a big, you know, problem. Sometimes you have an RPG that puts you in this lore and puts you in this world, but when the gameplay is not really addicting or not really that expansive, you kind of lose it. And I think this game has a great balance of it. So you can choose how you start, like we said, with the Octopath, of course. But my favorite was Therion. He's a thief who is blackmailed into doing jobs for royalty. And the voiceover work is amazing for this game. A lot of great actors out there put their voices into this, and some of them are returning members from previous Game of the Year nominees. So I mean, star power, and you know, great performance, great gameplay. Plus, can we talk about how beautiful it looks?
Oh my, absolutely.
The 8-bit style of the characters, plus like the sort of like 16-bit pop-up book, like 3D scenarios and everything. It's so beautiful. It's
stunning. It's really stunning.
Yeah.
Now, those are our choices for Game of the Year, but there are definitely some other majorly successful games out there that stand a chance too. Games like Monster Hunter World, Far Cry 5, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Forza Horizon 4, and Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Like I mentioned earlier, all of these games are available right now, so check with a guest advisor to see if they're in stock and if you can pick them up pre-owned to save some money.
So as we head to break, let's check out a game that's sure to be a Game of the Year contender next year, Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice.
So you're awake. Looks like death is not your fate, just yet. Some time has passed since I found you. Your master still lives. They'll soon make use of his bloodline. The limb you have lost will give way to something more useful. You'll learn to appreciate its worth. Your death won't come easily.